Hello, everyone. It's Lucas again with your read aloud of the day. Another author who I like a lot is called Gerald Mcdermott. And Gerald Mcdermott loves to sort of take folk tales, especially folk tales that come from Native American people, and turn them into books. All right, I think he does a pretty good job of it. This is called Raven, a trickster tale from the Pacific Northwest. Do you know any other tricksters? Yeah, you do. Yeah. You remember Zummo the rabbit? Mm-hmm. You remember Anansi the spider? Ah, there are a lot of trickster tales. I guess kids must like them. Do you like tricksters? Okay, me too, actually. And so, this is called Raven. And this is a tale that comes from the native people that come from the Pacific Northwest over there in sort of Washington State, up into Canada as well. And what's beautiful about it is that the illustrations are done in that same artistic style that those folks use. So I think that's kind of cool. So it begins. Raven came. All the world was in darkness. The waters below were in darkness. Men and women lived in the dark and the cold. Raven was sad for them, and he said, I will search for light. Raven flew across valleys, across mountains. He flew along rivers and over lakes. There was darkness all around. Then he saw a light far away. He flew and he flew and came closer to the light. The light was at the edge of the water. Can you see that light? Can you see that light at the edge of the water? I wonder where that's coming from. We'll find out. The light came from the house of the sky chief and was shining. Raven perched high in a pine tree on the shore. Raven watched. Wonder what he's going to do. He saw a beautiful young girl emerge from the shining house and go to the edge of the water. She was the sky chief's daughter. She knelt and drank some water from a woven basket. Raven did something very strange. Raven was magical, so he changed himself into a pine needle, like the needle from a pine tree, and it fell down from the tree and floated on the water. What happened to that pine needle? What is she doing? Who is she drinking? She's drinking Raven. When she drank again, she swallowed the needle, the pine needle, which was Raven. That sneaky guy. I wonder what he's going to be up to now. That's crazy. After a time, the young woman, she was a young woman, gave birth to a child. Now, the interesting thing was, the child was small and dark and shiny, had black hair and tiny black eyes. Who do you think that child was? Yeah, it was Raven, reborn as a tiny boy child. The Sky Chief was delighted with his daughter's child. He called him grandchild. He played with the boy and carved toys for him. He invited the elders to come and see the curious, wonderful child. The elders gathered in the shining house with the Sky Chief and his daughter. They watched Raven Child crawl around the floor of the lodge. He pretended to be playing all the time. He was really trying to find out where the light was. And he saw a box in the corner of the lodge. Do you see that box? The box was large. It was carved and painted with many colors. The box was bright. It glowed. What do you think's in there? Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah." "Oh, what do you want?" asked his mother. Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah." He began to cry. "What does the child want?" said the elders. Ravenchild said, "Gah, gah," he cried. "Oh, my grandchild wants the box," said the Sky Chief. The young woman placed the box in front of the Raven child, but he continued to cry. She took the lid off the box, and inside was a smaller box. She took the lid off that box, and inside was an even smaller box. His mother took the lid off that box, and light flooded into the room. Inside the box was a shining ball, blazing with light. What do you think that ball was? Any guesses? Well, you're right. It was the sun. "Oh, give him the shiny ball," said the Sky Chief. His mother gave Ravenchild the ball. Ravenchild stopped crying. He started to play with the ball. He rolled it around the lodge, and he said, "Gah, gah." Then he changed back into a bird and said, "Ha, ha." And then he became Raven once again and said, "Caw, caw." Can you say caw, caw with me? Caw, caw. Oh, you do a good crow. Sky Chief, his daughter and the elders looked on in amazement. Raven plucked the ball of light in his beak. He flew through a hole in the lodge and disappeared into the dark sky. Raven flew over the valleys and the mountains. He flew along the rivers and across the lakes. Raven threw the sun high in the sky. Yeah, he threw it high in the sky, and it stayed there. And that is how Raven stole the sun and gave it to all of the people. And why do the people always feed Raven? To thank him for bringing them light. And that is the end. A really interesting story, right? Some very interesting things happen. Yeah, and folk tales are like that. Some really interesting, crazy, magical things happen. That's what make them so much fun. But I had a question for you. Is Raven good or not good? It's interesting, right? I mean, he's good. He brought what? The light to the people. He did take it from somebody, didn't he? Oh, and I bet his mom is still missing him. I hope he goes back and visits her. Who knows? Okay, so that is the end of the story. Raven by Gerald Mcdermott. Hope you liked it. Okay, bye everybody.